Today's recipe is a lentil stew with lots of vegetables which is indigenous to the land of temples, Odisha. This recipe is a dalma. Hey guys, it's me the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Rajshri Food. Let's begin. But before we jump into the recipe of dalma, let me quickly take this opportunity and thank my Australian food friend Marion Grasby for finding her cooking inspiration in our video of Phoodnicha Bhaat and of course adding her bits and pieces and personalizing it. So thanks Marion if you're watching this. Now let's move on to the lentil mix, which is very important. The dal mix is a combination which is very important for us to understand. It's a combination of Moong Dal and Tur Dal. Moong Dal is green gram and Tur Dal a split gram. Now, it's very important to understand this whole mix because green gram of Moong Dal says 1 cup, Tur Dal is 1/4 cup. Now, this combination is very important because Moong Dal adds in flavor. It also brings that lightness in this recipe, and the Tur Dal adds in that texture, it adds in that bite, it adds in flavor of course, but it also brings in that element of thickness. Now, suppose you're pressure cooking this recipe, what you could do is you cook the dal till it's 3/4. You wash it, cook it in at least 2 to 3 cups of water with a touch of salt and a touch of turmeric. And then when it's 3/4 cooked, you add in vegetables and bring 1 whistle. Once you're done with that, you're sorted with the dalma mix. Then all you have to make is the spice mix and the tempering. Let's add in the cooked dal in a cauldron or a stock pot. And to this, we'll add in the mix of vegetables, beginning with red pumpkin. Moving on to red carrots. Well, the season doesn't permit red carrots, so I'm using orange carrots. To adding in eggplants or aubergines. Well, I'm using the green variety. By all means, you can also use the purple or the lavender ones or even the white ones. What's important is to cut these if you're pre-cutting it and soak this in water because otherwise it would oxidize on the outside. And the same thing also applies to potatoes. You can use baby potatoes, you can use large potatoes, completely a personal call. Just ensure that you peel them and you dice them. I'm following this up with French beans. You need to string these and cut these into little bits. Quarters or dices of tomatoes. You can also use the desi ones that are little and have a lot of flavor. Yam or elephant's foot yam, however you recognize this ingredient. Turmeric, a tad bit more than what you would normally use in another dal recipe. Well, remember the fact that turmeric was already added while cooking the dal with a little bit of salt. To this, I'm adding in red onions, which are roughly cut, sliced, anything is fine because all of this is literally going to cook like a stew. Green chilies, now this is of course for flavor. I'm going to snap the stalks off and just snip them like so. Ginger, crushed of course. And look at the amount of flavor in this recipe. So many ingredients, every ingredient will bring in the peculiarity of their own flavor and essence. Time to add in water. Now the amount of water of course is going to depend on how thick or how thin you want this dalma to be. Well, generally it's thick, it's almost like a thick stew. It's like a dal, it's like a lentil porridge or a lentil stew or any thick dal that you would otherwise make. The only difference is it has lots of flavor coming from the vegetables. Let's mix all of this. Mind you, till now, the flame is still off. Once you've ensured that there are no lumps in the lentil, we turn the flame on. We're going to cook this on high flame for at least 15 to 20 minutes. In case you're using a pressure cooker, pressure cook this under 1 whistle. Time to add in salt. First one, salt of Zakanda. And then regular table salt. Well, this time, follow the quantity of water and the vegetables only while adding salt because salt otherwise was already in the lentils. Let's give it one quick stir. You need to keep stirring intermittently. It's very important because lentils have the tendency of going and sticking straight at the bottom of the pan. The vegetables are kind of 3/4 done. The dal has also cooked well. Of course, it was cooked to begin with, but with the flavor of the vegetables is what's important. I'm just moving this aside on another burner. Allow this to continue cooking because still there's a way to go. And on this burner, I'm going to make the Dalma spice mix. Now it's very simple. It's as simple as taking chilies, just going to snap the stalks off. Just break the chilies like so. And along with this, I'm going to add in some more spices. This is a combination of peppercorn, green cardamom, and some cinnamon stick. And along with this, I'm also adding in cumin seeds. I'm going to roast the spices on medium flame till it's nice and fragrant. You're not here to burn the spices. You're here just to bring out the natural flavor, aroma, and the natural oils of the spices. While you're concentrating here, do not forget the fact that the lentils with vegetables are also getting cooked. Once our spice mix is wonderfully fragrant, off goes the flame, and this needs to cool down completely. We're going to transfer this in a mixer grinder or a spice grinder and grind this into a nice and fine powder. It's become like a nice and fine fragrant powder. You can actually store this in a refrigerator, keep it airtight, use a clean spoon every time you want to dig into this masala. We need to stir this well, and you can make several things with this. You can also sprinkle this on some vegetables and personalize it. While talking about storage of this masala, you can refrigerate this. Well, for now, just do not forget to stick a label which says Dalma spice mix. Let me add in just a little more of the water just to kind of balance the consistency and the texture. One quick stir and we move on to making the tempering. I'm going to use the same pan, and to this I'm going to add in mustard oil. That's where it adds yet another layer of flavor. Once the oil almost reaches its smoke point, we're going to reduce the flame and start with the tempering. Let's begin with Panch Foran. Immediately to this, I'm going to add in red chilies. Once the chilies start blooming in oil, I'm going to add in red chili powder for that nice vibrant color, almost like a rogan. And this straight goes in the dalma. We give this a good stir. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, our dalma, which is a lentil stew with lots of vegetables from the land of temples, is done and ready. Delicious, if I may add. Bye for now.